Yes, another good evidence for Peter Obi for court today, my people. It don't set for Mahmoud head. They say in parable in Edo State, it's okay, exactly. Means if you don't near he, mountain, river no far, again, you know the near river, you going to feel small cold. You know say river, they close there. Now, the result and the evidence when Peter Obi don't they bring come out, it don't they make court say the truth don't they come out. Now, I go leave una make una watch how they take prove everything when they do for court today, how everything play out. My people, as una they watch so not be only your eye go see this one. Make me share and make other people see and too. Don't be greedy not to share this video. Like it, leave your comment for the comment section. What do you think about this video you are seeing? And say time, share it. Follow this page so that Facebook will recommend it to other people to see. Oh, I don't come again, not the killers who now up, and this how they go. The national actor of this platform remain to say, Laba Brum, Brulaba. Now be this so watch it now. NATO.
Team of brilliant, magnificent, extraordinarily hardworking lawyers. And as the court prepares to convene, His Excellency Peter Obi continues to bring in more evidences to prove his case. Now the big question is, how will these evidences fare? Well, the major evidences here are the forms EC8, that is the certified true copies of election results, duly signed by INEC and procured by Labour Party at a cost. No be free, now money they use buy those things. Now from EC8As are polling unit results, then we have them collated into from EC8Bs, which are the ward level results, from EC8Cs, the local government results, then the from EC8Ds are the state results. Now how will this affect the general results? Well, His Excellency Peter Obi, as it stands, has provided the polling unit results, that is the form EC8As, for virtually all the polling units in the country. And if those forms are recomputed by the courts, the outlook of the election is going to be completely different, and it's going to be in favor of Labour Party. Let's take it state by state. I'll be looking at Plateau State and Lagos State to start with. Yes, LP won in those states, but even the PDP reps confirmed that from their situation rooms, they clearly saw that Labour Party scored over 900,000 votes in Lagos, as opposed to the 585,000 votes that INEC declared. And their situation room also showed that Labour Party scored over 1 million votes in Plateau State, as against the 466,272 that was declared by INEC. Now, one way, and quite frankly, the only way to prove that Labour Party actually scored more votes in these two states than they were actually awarded is to recompute the figures on the form EC8As, which the court will do. And don't you even think that the Labour Party team itself must have counted and computed the figures again before tendering those documents as evidence in court? I think they must have. Next is Rivers State. As we speak, INEC has refused to release the results of 2 local government areas in Rivers State to Labour Party. Obiakpo local government area is one of those LGAs. Now, this is the LGA that Wike used to rig the election. But as it stands, even the IREV results shows that Peter Obi won a landslide victory in that local government. As a matter of fact, Obi won the entire Rivers State, polling over 70% of the total vote cast. Listen again, I said over 70% of the total vote cast. And with PDP in the mix, it is not likely that APC even scored 25% of the votes there, let alone win it. And that is one point that we are going to be making in subsequent videos. When these computations are done again, you will realize that not only did APC lose in some states that INEC declared them winners, they didn't even score 25% in those states. Next is Kogi State. One of the clearest cases of overvoting and rigging in the last presidential elections took place in Kogi State. Now, Kogi has 1.9 million registered voters. Then INEC declared 484,884 accredited voters. But the Beavers declared 419,184 registered voters. So there is a serious difference between the number of accredited voters declared by INEC compared to the number of accredited voters that Beavers registered, captured. So that is a clear case of overvoting. And that is just it for Kogi State. We will have to rely on the court's recomputation of the figures on the forms EC8As before we know what actually happened in Kogi State. As it stands, the result we have is highly flawed. Next is Akwa Ibom State. Labour Party didn't even score 25% of the votes cast here, which is laughable. This is like saying APC didn't score 25% in Borno or Katsina. And I can almost assure you that when the figures on the form EC8As are recomputed by the courts, Labour Party will win in Akwa Ibom State. Now, before I continue, let me play you this video that is making the rounds on social media, which I believe is critical at a time like this. Watch out.
We shall all stand to say Nigeria is a great country. And to those of you, our colleagues, including you, Mr. Senate President, you know you're a very smart politician. How you came back is yet another political book to discuss.
Sorry?
How you came back is another chapter in our political history.
How I came back from where?
How you return to the Senate as a senator will open another chapter of great discussion in our political book. Because I was there in the field with you running for president. I never knew how you were able to meander and return and leaving some of us. Next time you must teach me how to do that.
It was a treacherous journey because we had to go through the courts. I didn't.
Well, that was Rochas Okorocha mocking the judiciary for the role they played in bringing in Ahmed Lawan back to the Senate when he didn't even contest the primaries of the APC in his senatorial district in Yobe State. And of course, earlier we saw a video of Senator Adamu Bukachua openly bragging about the influence he had on the judicial rulings made by his wife, Justice Zainab Bukachua, when she was the president of the Court of Appeal. And Nigerians are hoping that all these things will come out now will shame the judiciary. Nigerians are hoping it will make judges, to self-reflect so that they can self-correct. Say it will shame them into making the right decisions subsequently. Anyway, just to summarize this, 3 major things will happen when the Form EC8s are collated by the courts. Number 1, Labour Party is going to have outright victories in some of the states where INEC declared for other parties. And those states include Benue State, Rivers State, and Akwa Ibom State. Number 2, the figures declared for Labour Party in some of the states they won are going to be much higher, particularly in places like Plateau and Lagos, where over 1 million votes were subtracted. Number 3, the figures declared for Labour Party in some of the states they lost is going to increase tremendously. Some of the places they said Labour Party didn't get 25%, you find out that they got much more than 25% of the votes. Don't forget that when Labour Party votes go up in any states, this means technically that PDP and APC votes are going to reduce. So when the right thing is done on the Form EC8, as you see, say Labour Party votes, they increase. Now so the votes of other parties will they come down, because basically now Labour Party votes, now they take do patch for other parties in most of those states that you see. A lot went down in the 2023 presidential election. And if all these conditions are met, Labour Party is going to win with a landslide, because not only will Labour Party have millions of votes more, the votes that were allocated to PDP and APC will also reduce. Because what you don't know is that now Labour Party vote, now they use patch all those votes for many of those states where you see. So when the Form EC8s are collated, the more Labour Party's votes go up, the more the votes of those other parties will reduce. You understand? So now so it could just be. Make I leave am here. I've talked enough.
To other people to see too. But don't forget, say we have national actor on this platform. Now be Laba Bloom, Rolaba, now be this watcher.